Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Christlyn Joaquin, and I'm here to present my study, which is entitled The Lived Experiences of Filipino Teachers Turned Academic Leaders in Private Schools in Jakarta, Indonesia. And this study was completed on May 2024. The rationale of this study, besides the fact that there is very little information about Filipino teachers who are employed in Jakarta, Indonesia, is this. There's a phenomenon of teachers transitioning into leadership roles, which is not unique to Filipinos or to Indonesians or to other expatriates. However, the specific experiences of Filipino academic leaders in Jakarta's private schools provide a unique case due to the cultural, economic, and educational dynamics of the region. And also, less is known about their specific journeys from teaching roles to leadership positions, the challenges they face in these roles, and their means of navigating the educational and administrative landscapes of a foreign country. Also, the gap in the literature was significant because understanding the transition and adaptation processes can provide insights into a broader implications of international educational migration and leadership development in global educational settings. Moreover, the insights gained could inform policy and practice not only in Jakarta but also in similar contexts globally, potentially improving recruitment training, and support systems for international educators assuming leadership roles. The statement of the problem are as follows. Problem number one, what are the lived experiences of Filipino teachers who became academic leaders in the private schools in Jakarta, Indonesia? Problem number two, what are the challenges faced by the Filipino teachers who turned into academic leaders in the private schools in Jakarta, Indonesia? Problem number three, what are the coping strategies employed by the Filipino teachers turned academic leaders in the private schools in Jakarta, Indonesia? And problem number four, what support programs could be proposed based on the findings? The methodology employed by this study are as follows. This study was conducted in Jakarta, Indonesia, with three private schools having Cambridge and IB curriculum, and these schools are with multicultural teaching staff. The participants of the study were selected through purposive sampling. Therefore, the participants of the study are as follows. They are Filipino-born teachers employed in Jakarta, Indonesia. Their age ranges from 30 to 65 years old, and they are all females. They have been previously teachers before, or classroom teachers, before assuming the leadership roles. They have been teaching in Indonesia for a span of 5 to 21 years. They have been, or they were teaching either English, science, or mathematics, and they are currently in the leadership position in their respective schools for at least 2 years. The instruments of the study are as follows. For the invitation, as a researcher, I use personal invitation, the WhatsApp application, and the formal letter. All of these three were used to invite these specific participants. And in addition to that, there's a Google form that was given to the participants containing the preliminary questionnaire. It's getting to know the information of about these participants. And also there's a guide questions prepared by the researcher. And finally, there's a face-to-face recorded interview. For the data gathering procedure, the data were gathered. Of course, the participants were invited verbally and through the WhatsApp application. And there was this formal letter addressed to each of them and was handed out in person. And the Google form, for the containing the preliminary questionnaires, were handed out or given to them. And the interview schedule was arranged. And after they have confirmed the scheduling, um, there was the part where I had to get consent from the participants to be recorded during the interview. And prior to the interview, the participants were briefed with the description, the purpose of the study, and they were ensured of the confidentiality of all the information that they were to disclose during the interview. And I facilitated the recorded interview with the prepared questions. The data that were gathered were transcribed and translated. And after that, it was endorsed to a thematician for the themes. And for the data analysis, this study used thematic analysis by Braun and Clark, and the processes that were employed were the following. Is the familiarization of the data gathered, the coding, the generating of themes, the reviewing of themes, the defining and naming of themes, and of course, the writing up. The data analysis also, just to ensure the validity of the data gathered, I have used data triangulation wherein there was observation, recording, and the interview. The summary and results of the findings, and here are the findings. And in relation to SOP number one, the lived experiences of the Filipino teachers turned academic leaders, the theme that transpired from all the responses is this: the day-to-day experiences of the Filipino academic leaders, of Filipino teachers turned academic leaders. And the day-to-day experiences of these teachers um, are composed of work demands, intellectual pressure, psychological stress, and interpersonal dynamics. To address SOP number two, which is the challenges faced by the participants in their leadership career, the theme that has arisen or has transpired is administrative hurdles. And within the administrative hurdles, each of these participants have experienced career barriers, adjusting to their new roles, heavy workloads, language barriers, and policy implementation. Now, to address SOP number three, the coping strategies which were employed by the Filipino academic leaders, the theme that transpired is management tactics. And within the management tactics, these participants have used self care practices and communication with peers and supervisors. And lastly, to address SOP number four, or the problem number four, which is there's a need for the support program, and there was a proposed support program based on the findings of the study. And the program is called the Training Plan for Academic Leaders in Jakarta, Indonesia. And it is aimed to assist Filipino teachers who turned academic leaders as they navigate the unique challenges leading in a multicultural educational setting. Here's a view of the contents of the training plan. The title is Empowering the Private School Academic Leaders in Jakarta, Indonesia, which is the target date is on July 24. Why July 24? It's because it's the opening of the academic year. Usually it's July, and most of the preparation processes happen in July. So that's the target date. And the venue is in Jakarta Design Center, Central Jakarta, Indonesia. And the participants are the Filipino academic leaders, the directors, the school principals, vice principals, the school coordinators, the head teachers of the private schools, and also the school owners. So the target participants are 20, and the target speakers are the following: Dr. Vivian Villanueva, Professor Jomar Aban, Professor Yuli Rahmawati, Professor Dr. Ninuk Lustianti, Yusuf Seto Pangarso Wibowo, and Muslim Kadir. All of these speakers were carefully selected based on their expertise, which were deemed to be very helpful in addressing the needs of these academic leaders. And the topics that will be discussed are the following: the road to extraordinary, navigating transition to leadership. So this focuses on how they change from being classroom teacher into a leadership role. And topic number two is academic leadership. It will focus on the obstacles and the rewards of being an academic leader. And also on day two, the topic is unloading the burden, which will focus on navigating different tasks, responsibilities, and challenges of an academic leader in Indonesia. And the topic for day two, the second topic for day two is Project Merdeka, which is going to focus on Bahasa Indonesia and the Indonesian culture for foreigners. And on the last day, which is day three, the main topic is entitled Up Close with International Schools. And this will focus on the Cambridge curriculum, the Cambridge or the IB curriculum, and of course, the national curriculum that is being used by the Republic of Indonesia. And now for the conclusion based on those findings. The everyday occurrences in the lives of the participants as an academic leader highlighted their daily thunders, occupational obligations, cognitive demands, emotional stress, and relationship dynamics. These experiences underline the exigent duties of academic leadership and the need to have strong skills such as critical thinking, emotional resilience, and effective stress management while building and maintaining a productive and harmonious academic community. The second conclusion that was made based on the findings is this one. The participants discussed the administrative challenges of occupational constraints, processing career transition, demanding workload, communication barrier, and the difficulty in the execution of school policies. These challenges highlighted the significance of learning and mastering the policies leading to flexibility in career changes, skillful management of workloads, and overcoming hindrances to career advancement. The challenges further underlined the need for effective language learning. The third conclusion that was made based on the findings is this one. The participants identified management tactics such as self-therapy and having professional dialogues with peers and supervisors. These coping strategies underline the importance of fostering a career nurturing environment or atmosphere and prioritizing personal wellness among academic leaders. And the fourth conclusion is this. A support program was needed to tackle the challenges and coping mechanisms highlighted by the participants. This support program ought to be crafted to equip Filipino academic leaders with the necessary skills and knowledge to handle the challenges of leading in a multicultural school environment abroad. And based on the findings and the conclusions, the recommendations are as follows. Filipino academic leaders are advised to establish boundaries between work and personal life, which would help in maintaining sound mental processes and stable emotions to carry out tasks efficiently and establish an inclusive, innovative, and empowering workplace. It is also recommended that the academic leaders would benefit from establishing leadership development programs by the school management, which is tailored to the specific challenges the academic leaders face. These programs should focus on practical ways in managing heavy workloads and overcoming career hindrances, navigating and adapting to work transitions, insightful policies employed by international schools in Jakarta, and a language training, specifically the local language, which is Bahasa Indonesia. The third recommendation is that the school management must emphasize the need to develop communication channels and create a supportive environment for academic leaders and their superiors, in addition to encouraging personal wellness. Organizing workshops and retreats with programs and activities enhancing open communication and confidence between and among leaders and superiors would be very beneficial. And the fourth recommendation is that the school management should execute the support programs to successfully alleviate the administrative related challenges and foster coping mechanisms of Filipino academic leaders. Finally, the last recommendation is to conduct a related study to examine the challenges faced by Filipino academic leaders in private schools in Jakarta, Indonesia. It is going to deepen our understanding of the specific challenges they face, including psychological and emotional aspects, their adapting mechanisms, while evaluating policy and institutional support which are beneficial to the academic leaders. That's it, and thank you very much, Terima kasih, and I hope you'll have a good day. Thank you.